Hello guys, I hope this finds you well. I'm looking for my my iPad because I'm gonna play something. Where is it? Don't you like when I walk you around the place? I feel today's Saturday, but I didn't do a video yesterday. Where is, oh there it is. I found it. I like to put on some music because it adds ambiance. Because our lives are movies. I feel really compelled right now to share with you, I don't know, just to share, because I feel like right now it's really just important that I want to share that I don't know, I really like to share and just share my experiences and tell you that life is really much more simple than it really is. And a lot of people are not gonna, like, I know, Maurice, let's get realistic here, I don't know. I can tell you that I'm never ever gonna connect to my thoughts anymore. My thoughts, because they ramble. They're always up and down, and like we can really change our lives and change the way we think. And you know, I can tell you right now, like, I used to be expecting a lot of myself, a perfectionist side of myself, to achieve something, and I think that whatever I'm chasing is not the solution, because and that has totally redefined itself as you know, if you know or not, but most of you do, I'm a choreographer, I'm a dance artist, and I work in the profession of dance. I was a classical ballet dancer, a little history, for quite 10 years, something more or less. And I moved to Europe in 1991, and I danced with one of the best dance companies on the planet. It was the best dance company, not to toot my horn, but I happened to go through those doors. And I think Ballet Frankfurt for me was a very important time in my history, because it is iconic, the place, and the dancers, and William Forsythe, my director. I'm telling you this because it's really important, because I felt like when I was in that company, and from 1991 until 99, I danced with this company. And I knew I was part of something really profound. And it changed everything about me. It changed everything. It changed the way I relate to the world. It changed the way I relate to dance. It changed the way I relate to I think everything. It was nirvana for me on the planet. That's my experience there. And I can say that I was really part of something really so special. And I felt like for 8 years that I was there, I danced so much, and I traveled the world, and I met some of the most incredible people at that time who were like-minded in the sense of my craziness or my need of expression beyond the dance, I think beyond the dance. And in this place for me was like an oasis. It really, I felt like that when I was in that bubble for 8 years, I felt I was playing all the time, and I think I was not conscious at all of my spiritual side, although I've always felt some intuitive thing in myself that something was lacking from the experience of life, whatever that was lacking. But I was fulfilled in a very artistic, playful way, so I felt like a kid for 8 years dancing in that company, because it was so enriching, and it was really, I felt really kind of like I was in a superior place, and that could very much influence my ego and influence all this stuff. So that is part of my history. But I can tell you that I left that place, and when I left that place, I think it was shocking to work in the dance world in some ways, and to meet people and righteous people after, like, my experience there working with, you know, some companies, elite companies. I worked with the Netherlands Dance Theater, and I worked with Royal Swedish Ballet as a rehearsal director or repetitor, not knowing really what I was doing. But although I could tell you that I had an experience in the dance world that created my direction and in working with dancers, what I experienced in the classical world as well as the contemporary world, because we fuse those things. I improvise, I teach these things, and I just, like, as my person developed, so does my artistry, and my artistry is related to that time. And my extension, the extension of myself, which is my craft and what I do, is a result or a deliverance, I guess you could say, or a result of my previous life experience professionally in the dance world. And as I grow in myself, that is really a valuable thing for me to share within myself. I think for myself as a dancer, I really achieved very quickly. I started ballet when I was 15, I was professional at 18. In 2.5 years, I became that. And like, as I was a young boy, I think I never really felt valued in many places in my schooling systems, or, you know, that I was this or that. So as labels came, labels came, and labels happened, and they still happen in your head, label good or bad. And so I just made a post about no polarized things, no good or bad. That was helpful for me to develop myself, that anything I did was not good or bad. Now I'm here right now as a dance artist, and I realize that what is more important for me to share is about my person, and my person, developing my person, and really loving myself. And you know, and people can say, you know, like, if you love yourself, this is how I was raised, it's a sign of weakness, or it's selfish, or this kind of thing, which is really interesting. But I'm not going to elaborate really much on that. But I changed the way I thought about those things, and conditioning is really strong. So in order for me to rise above this kind of mental constructs, which I realize that are impermanent. And that's why I share this with you, because some days I can feel defeated, and some days I can feel very elated from, you know, from what I've achieved or what I do. And what is achievement, and what do I need? I think because I dance with these elite companies, as a choreographer or a dance artist, I expected myself to create for a certain level of ballet companies or dance companies. I don't. And I used to feel really sad, and under that circumstance I felt like I had not achieved. Now my dream to be a choreographer has always been since the very first week that I danced. I can remember that. And I always wanted to do that. And I've achieved that. I've set out to achieve that goal. And I love it so much. I love dance. I love working with people. I think I love meeting people who love to dance more so than the actual, like, accomplishments that I make within the dance profession of what my work is, or how I'm my work as experience, or, you know, how good I am as a teacher or as a choreographer, or all these kind of things are basically secondary. And it's really nice to don't let me get you wrong, it's really nice to create some work and it to be recognized, but it's also not always the thing. And I'm here to say, like, if I was attached to, like, how that I'm supposed to be number one and elite, and all this feeling that I had in myself that always took me really far, I think, is this mental construct, is so, like, for me, is not even the path that and I think all of those walls have collapsed around me in the sense of how I think I need to achieve. Right now in myself, I am so good with everything that comes in my experience, and I stop trying to be that whatever it was. There was a time when it was subconscious. I wasn't even conscious of this awareness of, like, being number one, or being perfect, or being seen, or developing myself. Like, how was I going to develop myself when people are going to judge me? And that feeling of judgery judgery is there. It's like there. It's there inside of me, and it's still there, and it doesn't go away. But I'm like, I look at it and go, that doesn't work for me anymore. And I don't need to be over there to feel good within myself. And I don't need any kind of circumstance to tell me. I am not a victim of anything anymore. Do I have habits that I like, that I don't like? Of course, we all have areas in our lives, perhaps, because nothing's perfect. But I was told that when you behave and you're good, everything was perfect and everything is falling. I don't really believe that anymore. And I hope you can catch me and understand this. But I achieved my possibility. I achieved my goal of being a choreographer, and even more so. And I created so many great places, and I feel that. And if you look, like, in my mind, I can feel like I'm a failure. In my mind, and I can say that because that's a mental construct, which is I am not a failure. And I'm like, how I define success as being the best person I can be. And somehow, also within a conditioned mind, that sounds really, really weak to say that. Or, you know, that I'm not supposed to be this way, because it's selfish. And you shouldn't project, and you shouldn't. All of these requirements that I should not be doing, or should be doing, has been redefined itself. And I'm here just to share that. My mind, when you start on this journey of like loving yourself and allowing yourself to be free, and how that, you realize there's so much more freedom. My partner's coming in, but I'm gonna finish my talk. Anyway, that freedom is right at your hands. And I'm gonna stop there today because my partner's coming in and I wanna continue with him. So I'm doing my talk, and yeah. That's a little bit of the story there for you. Okay, I hope you have a nice weekend, and I will see you when I see you next. Bye everyone, ciao.